The first signal. The galaxy was calm, or at least it appeared so. Stars shone in the endless darkness, and small outposts drifted quietly near the edge of known space. Most alien guards on those stations had grown lazy. They believed nothing dangerous ever came from the void. It was just empty darkness, cold, silent, and without life. But on one quiet night, a signal broke that silence. The first to notice it was a young officer in the Zarin outpost. His scanners showed unusual readings. At first, he thought it was an error. The signal was strong but strange. It did not match any known ship or station. The young officer frowned and checked again. The signal grew louder. Something was moving through the void. He called his commander. Together they stared at the glowing lines on the scanner. The object was large, much larger than any ship they had recorded before. The commander's scales twitched nervously. He ordered the officer to send the data to the central archives. Within minutes, other outposts also reported the same thing. Something massive was entering the galaxy. The alien council was quickly informed. Messages carried across dozens of systems. Leaders gathered in their great chamber, a place filled with tall pillars and shining glass walls. The voices of many species echoed there. Some were calm, some were fearful, and some were angry. They argued about what this unknown object could be. "Perhaps it is an ancient empire returning," one alien said. "No," another replied, "the readings do not match. This is something new." Back at the outpost, panic grew. The object moved with silent speed, ignoring every call. No signal came from it. No reply, no code, nothing. Only its presence. Then the object emerged from the dark. At first, the watchers thought their scanners were wrong again. The shape was long, sharp, and metallic. A giant warship, glowing faintly red under the light of nearby stars. Its size was overwhelming, dwarfing anything the aliens had built. Towers of armor lined its surface. Massive engines glowed like burning suns. The entire void around it seemed heavier, darker, as if space itself feared it. The officers at the outpost whispered in disbelief. "What kind of ship is this? No empire has ever built something like that." The commander forced himself to stay calm, but his voice shook. "Record everything. Send it all to the council. This must be known." The Galactic Council's chamber filled with noise as the first images arrived. A huge crimson warship moving slowly but with terrifying confidence. No insignia, no banners, no alien markings. It was unfamiliar yet strangely simple in its design. One elder leaned forward and spoke in a low voice. "It looks human." At first, the others laughed. Humanity was considered weak and primitive. They had only recently stepped into the stars. Their ships were small, their weapons limited. No one feared them. They were just another young race struggling to survive among stronger species. But silence fell as more evidence appeared. The design, the metal, the structure, it was human. No doubt remained. The aliens stared at one another, fear spreading in their eyes. If humans had built something like this, then everything they believed about them was wrong. Across the galaxy, the news spread. Soldiers whispered in fear. Civilians asked questions. How could humans create a warship so large, so powerful? Where did they get the resources? How long had they been preparing? No one knew. The warship moved forward, ignoring every message. Fleets of alien scouts approached it carefully, trying to make contact. They circled the giant vessel, shining their lights upon its dark red armor. No answer came. Instead, the warship continued, steady and unshaken, as if the smaller ships did not even exist. A scout ship tried to scan it deeper, sending strong signals. Suddenly, the warship's surface glowed. Weapons appeared, massive cannons hidden beneath its plating, energy fields sparking alive. The scouts panicked and pulled back immediately. The warship did not fire, but the message was clear. It could destroy them any moment if it wished. The council's chamber shook with arguments. "This cannot be human. They are too weak." But the proof is clear. Who else could it be? If this ship belongs to them, then humanity is far more dangerous than we ever imagined. The elder who first spoke about humans repeated his words, this time louder. "It is human, and it is built to conquer." Silence filled the chamber. No one laughed now. Every alien leader understood the meaning. Humanity, once seen as weak, had returned with a weapon strong enough to shake the galaxy. Back in the void, the warship drifted closer. Its engines burned brighter, lighting up the darkness like a sunrise. The smaller ships stayed far away, too afraid to approach. No one knew its true mission. Was it here to explore? To warn? To conquer? The signal that began as a faint echo had now turned into a storm of fear across countless worlds. The first signal was clear now. It was not just an object. It was the beginning of something greater, something that would change the galaxy forever. And as the giant warship continued its silent path, all who saw it felt the same unspoken thought. The galaxy had just met its new master. Fear across the stars. The first images of the Crimson warship spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Every world, every station, every council hall now knew the truth. An unknown warship had appeared from the void, and it was human. The Galactic Council chamber, usually a place of order, had turned into chaos. Leaders shouted at one another, their voices sharp, their fear impossible to hide. Tall beings with silver skin raised their arms in protest. Creatures with glowing eyes hissed warnings. Even the oldest races who had lived for thousands of years could not hide their unease. Humans cannot build such a ship, one shouted. Then explain what we all saw, another replied. The debate grew louder, each word heavier than the last. The council members had once laughed at humanity. They remembered humans as a small, fragile race on a blue planet, struggling to survive their own wars. They thought humans were reckless children of the stars. Yet now the images before them showed something else, an unstoppable force. While the leaders argued, fear spread across ordinary citizens. In markets and streets, aliens whispered nervously. Merchants spoke of closing trade routes near human systems. Pilots told stories of the warship's massive engines that glowed like suns. Children asked their parents if the humans were coming for them next. Fear had no borders. On military outposts, the story was worse. Soldiers who had sworn to protect their worlds now questioned their strength. Their fleets looked small compared to the Crimson warship. Even their strongest weapons seemed like toys when they remembered the glowing cannons hidden in the ship's hull. Some commanders began secret talks, asking if they should surrender before the humans even attacked. But not all felt the same. Among the alien generals, some voices demanded resistance. If we unite, we can still destroy them, one said. This warship may be strong, but it is only one ship. We must strike before they build more. Others disagreed. You do not understand humans, they warned. They fight harder than any race. If they built one warship like this, it means they can build many. If we strike now, we will only awaken their full power. The council had no answer. They were trapped between fear and pride. Meanwhile, the warship continued its silent journey. It gave no signal, no explanation, no warning. It moved deeper into alien territory, passing systems as if claiming them without a word. No one dared to stop it. Fleets followed at a distance, but none came close. A smaller alien ship, brave or foolish, tried to approach again. The pilot sent greetings in 100 languages. No reply came. The human warship only rotated slightly, its weapons shifting into position. The small ship fled immediately, leaving behind silence. This silence was louder than any weapon. Across the stars, rumors grew. Some claimed the warship carried a weapon strong enough to destroy planets. Others believed it was a colony ship, filled with thousands of humans ready to spread across the galaxy. A few whispered darker things, that this ship was not alone, and that entire fleets of human warships waited in the shadows. The truth was hidden, and that made the fear worse. In the council chamber, an elder species known for wisdom finally spoke. Their voice was slow, heavy with age. You forget what humans are, the elder said. They are survivors. Every world they touch, they endure. Every war they fight, they grow stronger. You thought they were weak, but weakness was only a mask. Now you see their true face. The words echoed through the hall. No one dared to argue. Reports came from the edges of human space. Alien traders said that human colonies had gone silent. Factories were working day and night. Shipyards glowed brighter than ever. Something was happening there, something bigger than anyone had imagined. And then came the message. It was not long, nor was it loud. It arrived in simple human speech, translated by machines into every alien language. The voice was calm, but each word carried a weight that shook hearts. We are humanity. We do not hide anymore. We have built what you see, and we are not finished. Nothing more. No threats, no explanations. Just a simple truth. The council chamber fell into silence after hearing it. For the first time, every leader understood the same thing. Humanity had declared its arrival. They had stepped onto the galactic stage, and they had no plans to leave. Some leaders begged for peace. Others demanded war. But in the hearts of many, the decision was already made. The galaxy would never be the same. As the Crimson Warship drifted closer to the center of known space, its engines painted the void with fire. Planets watched from afar. Fleets waited in silence. Civilizations prayed that humanity would pass them by. But deep inside, every alien knew the same truth. Humanity was no longer a whisper in the dark. Humanity had become a storm, and the storm was just beginning. Humanity's message. The Crimson Warship had become the center of every thought across the stars. Entire fleets shadowed it from a safe distance, afraid to move closer. Civilizations held their breath as the ship drifted forward, as silent as a shadow, yet heavier than an army. No one could understand its purpose. Why had it come? Why did it not speak? Was it the vanguard of an invasion or a single test of power? Every unanswered question added more fear. The Galactic Council, desperate for answers, sent another wave of signals. Messages filled the void. Calls for peace, calls for trade, even threats. Some signals begged, some demanded, some cursed, but all met the same reply. Silence. Until one day the silence broke. The warship's massive body, drifting near the edge of a star system, came alive with light. For the first time, the ship itself responded. A single transmission spread across all known channels, reaching every world, every outpost, every hidden corner of the galaxy. The voice was human. It was not loud, nor filled with rage. Instead, it was calm, steady, almost cold. But every word cut through the galaxy like a blade. We are humanity. You know us. You thought you understood us. You were wrong. On alien worlds, people stopped whatever they were doing. Shops grew silent. Soldiers froze in their training. Pilots paused mid-flight. The voice reached them all. We have been silent, yes. We have watched, yes. But silence is not weakness, and patience is not surrender. We built in the shadows. We prepared in the dark. And now the dark has carried us here. The Galactic Council chamber listened in silence. Some leaders trembled, others clenched their fists, but none dared to interrupt. The voice continued. This warship you see is not our end. It is our beginning. It is not the greatest we will build. It is only the first. Those words struck harder than weapons. If this enormous vessel was only the first, then what else had humanity prepared? On distant colonies, alien citizens whispered in fear. Was this the dawn of human conquest? Or was it only a warning? No one knew. The human message gave no clear answer. We do not seek peace, the voice said firmly. We do not seek war. We seek destiny, and destiny will not wait. The galaxy will change, with us or against us. Then the message ended. No more words followed. No instructions, no details, nothing. The warship returned to silence, glowing red under the stars, its engines humming like a heartbeat in the void. The council exploded into panic. Leaders shouted in fear. Some demanded immediate war. Strike them now before they build more, cried one furious general. Others shook their heads, whispering, It is already too late. We must beg for mercy. The chamber cracked with division. Allies turned against one another. Civilizations that had stood united for centuries now doubted each other's strength. If humanity truly meant to conquer, which species would fall first? In the streets of alien worlds, riots began. Some groups demanded their governments surrender to humans immediately. Others marched in anger, crying out that they would never bow. Fear became fuel, spreading faster than fire. On remote military stations, soldiers stared at the human warship with dread. A few younger recruits admired it in secret. To them, the ship was not a nightmare, but a vision of strength. Even among aliens, some whispered, perhaps it is better to follow humans than to fight them. The galaxy was dividing itself, even before humanity fired a single shot. And still, the warship moved on. It crossed system after system, ignoring fleets that followed. Each time it passed a world, the citizens below looked to the skies in terror. Children asked what would happen if the humans landed. Parents had no answer. A legend began to grow. Aliens called it the Red Dread. Some prayed when they heard its engines. Some cursed, but all watched. In hidden corners of space, smaller alien empires prepared secret plans. Some built weapons to face the humans. Others sent envoys, hoping to contact them before it was too late. But the warship gave no reply. It did not stop, it did not answer. The fear only deepened. The Galactic Council finally reached a bitter conclusion. They could not stop the humans alone. If they wished to survive, they would have to unite all species in one massive defense. It was their only hope. But deep inside, many leaders wondered if even that would be enough. Humanity had spoken. Their message was not filled with rage or arrogance. It was worse. It was calm, certain, unshakable. This was not the sound of a species begging for recognition. This was the sound of a species declaring their rule. As the crimson warship vanished into the distance, its engines burning like a blood-red star, one thought remained in every alien mind. The age of silence was over. Humanity had stepped into the galaxy, and the galaxy itself trembled. The power revealed. The galaxy had heard humanity's voice, and it could no longer pretend the danger was far away. The crimson warship drifted deeper into alien space, its massive shadow stretching across stars. Entire fleets now followed at a distance like frightened predators circling a beast they did not understand. The Galactic Council could not wait any longer. They ordered an interception. 3 fleets were gathered, made up of ships from many different species. Their hulls were marked with different symbols, their designs strange and varied, but all shared the same goal: stop the human warship before it reached the heart of civilization. The commanders of those fleets gave speeches to their soldiers. They told them they were defending the galaxy, protecting their families, fighting for survival. But in their private rooms, the commanders whispered their doubts. None of them truly believed they could win. Still, pride and fear pushed them forward. The fleets met in the cold void near the Corinth system, a place of bright suns and rocky planets. The human warship arrived right on time, moving slowly as if it had known they would be waiting. The alien fleet spread out, forming a massive wall of ships. Thousands of weapons aimed at the crimson vessel. The commanders gave one final call for surrender, their voices heavy with desperation. The human warship did not reply. Instead, it slowed. The red glow along its hull brightened. The silence stretched, heavy and tense. Soldiers in alien cockpits gripped their controls, sweat dripping down their faces. Civilians watching from hidden channels prayed for a miracle. Then the warship revealed its power. Panels along its surface shifted open, releasing massive cannons larger than most alien ships. Energy surged across its body, glowing brighter than the suns behind it. Shields shimmered into view, layers upon layers of defenses like walls of light protecting a fortress. The aliens opened fire first. Beams of light, missiles, plasma bolts, everything the fleets had was unleashed. The void lit up like a storm. Explosions surrounded the human warship. For a moment, hope grew in alien hearts. But when the fire cleared, the warship still stood. Its shields absorbed the attacks, glowing brighter with each strike. Its armor showed no cracks, no damage. It was as if the galaxy's combined weapons had done nothing more than scratch a mountain. Then humanity answered. One cannon fired. A single blast of energy erupted, striking through the void. An alien battleship, once proud, now helpless, exploded instantly, breaking into burning fragments. Entire crews vanished in seconds. The fleets panicked. They tried to scatter, but the warship's weapons fired again and again. Each shot was precise, each strike devastating. Cruisers were torn apart. Fighters were erased before they could even turn. The aliens screamed across open channels. "It is impossible. Our shields cannot hold. Fall back, fall back." But there was no escape. The human warship was faster than its size suggested. Its engines roared, and it moved with deadly grace, hunting its enemies like prey. In less than an hour, hundreds of alien ships were destroyed. The fleets that had gathered with so much pride were reduced to wreckage floating silently in the void. And still, the warship pressed on, untouched. Those who survived could only watch in horror. They sent desperate reports back to the council, their voices broken with fear. "We cannot stop it. We cannot even slow it down. Humanity has built a monster." The council listened, but they had no answers. Their great chamber, once filled with arguments, was now silent. No one dared to speak of resistance again. The proof was before them. Even united, they were powerless. On alien worlds, the news spread fast. Images of burning fleets appeared on every screen. Parents held their children close. Priests prayed to their gods. Some voices called for surrender, others for rebellion, but all agreed on one thing. The galaxy had seen true power. The Crimson Warship was no longer just a ship. It was a message written in fire. Humanity had revealed itself not with words, but with destruction. They had shown what they could build, what they could unleash. And the galaxy understood the truth. This was not the limit of human strength. This was only a demonstration. In the wreckage of the Carinth system, the warship moved slowly forward. Flames of broken ships reflected on its armor, making it glow brighter, almost alive. Its engines pulsed like a heartbeat, steady, unstoppable. No survivors dared to fire again. The warship did not chase them. It did not need to. The message was already clear. Humanity could conquer whenever it chose. The galaxy was left shaken, broken, and afraid. As the warship disappeared into the horizon of stars, an old whisper returned to the minds of every alien leader. If one ship could do this, what will happen when the humans send a fleet? The galaxy shaken. The ruins of the Carinth system still glowed in the void. Hundreds of alien ships lay broken, their remains drifting silently between the stars. The Crimson warship had left nothing but wreckage in its path, yet it continued forward, unscarred, untouchable. The survivors whispered in despair as they retreated. Their voices carried back to their homeworlds like ghostly warnings. We cannot fight them. Humanity cannot be stopped. The Galactic Council received the reports in silence. Their grand chamber, once filled with shouting and debate, now sat in heavy gloom. Leaders stared at the images of burning fleets, their faces pale. Even the most arrogant among them, the ones who had once laughed at humans, spoke no words now. They are only beginning, one elder finally said. His voice was low, almost broken. This was not their greatest weapon. This was only their first. The words spread across the chamber like poison. No one argued. No one denied. The truth was too clear. Humanity had shattered the illusion of alien superiority. Across the galaxy, fear became the new law. Civilizations that had once mocked humans now lived in terror of them. Citizens looked to the sky with dread, wondering if the Crimson warship would appear above their worlds next. Parents told their children stories not of heroes but of humans, a race that would one day come, a race that could not be stopped. Markets collapsed. Trade routes closed. Armies hesitated to move. Even the strongest empires felt the weight of that warship's shadow. The galaxy was no longer united by hope or progress. It was united by fear of humanity. But fear was not the only seed planted. In secret, some species began sending messages to human space, hoping to offer alliance before it was too late. They spoke of trade, of loyalty, of peace. They begged to be spared when the time of conquest came. Others prepared for surrender. Entire colonies made plans to lower their defenses, to kneel the moment humans arrived. They believed resistance was useless and survival meant obedience. And yet there were still those who burned with pride. Hidden in distant corners, small groups of alien generals promised revenge. They built new weapons in the dark, whispering of one final stand. But deep inside, even they wondered if their efforts were nothing more than sparks against a storm. Meanwhile, the Crimson warship sailed on. It did not stop, it did not explain, it did not need to. Its very existence was the explanation. Humanity had spoken once, and now the galaxy listened. On the bridge of the warship, human commanders stood in silence. Their faces were calm, their eyes cold, as they watched alien fleets scatter before them. To them, this was not the end of a battle, but the beginning of an era. One of them finally broke the silence. They know now. Another nodded. Yes, they understand. The warship's engines roared louder, as if agreeing. Its glow lit the darkness like a rising sun. On alien worlds, the people gathered to watch its passage through the sky. Some screamed in terror, some knelt and prayed, some simply stared, knowing they were looking at the future that belonged to humanity. The Galactic Council made one last attempt at control. They released a public message across the stars calling for calm. They spoke of unity, of resisting together, of finding a way to stop the humans. But even their voices shook and everyone knew their words were empty. For the first time in history, the Council was powerless. The Crimson warship soon passed into deeper regions heading toward unknown stars. Its destination remained hidden, but its path was clear. Forward. Always forward. The galaxy could only watch. In the silence that followed, every civilization understood a truth they had never wanted to believe. Humanity was no longer the weak race they remembered. Humanity was no longer a shadow on the edge of space. Humanity was now the storm that ruled the stars, and as the warship vanished into the horizon, the galaxy trembled. Not from weapons, not from fire, but from a new age, an age of humans. The age of conquest had begun,